Welcome to episode 7 of the Monday Mourning podcast. Today we're talking about micro-grievances, red pill therapy, and Daddy's favorite euphemisms.
Welcome back.
Welcome
Welcome back.
to
We're back.
the pod, and it's America. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a very patriotic podcast this Monday.
Sponsored by America.
Yeah.
Sponsored by America and extreme fascism.
Totally Constitution vibes.
Totally totalitarian. Totally.
Totally. Right.
Totally. Oh, good shit.
Well,
Anyways.
I'm Gabby.
Hey, Gabby.
Hey, Gabby.
And that's it. No,
all you're gonna give us?
See ya.
my mom died
Why are you here? Okay.
September 3rd, 2016.
Mm.
How did she die?
Mm.
She kind of just, it was like one of those, those like booby trap like library doors where it looks like a bookshelf, but then it's like a cave or
Yeah,
something.
but that's a big pack of cigarettes
She kind of just
smoke.
she picked the wrong book.
It's a rotating gigantic pack of cigarettes.
Oh, wait, which book? Which book?
She picked the wrong one. It was just, I don't know, something about holistic cancer treatments, and then it just
Ooh.
took her away.
Yeah.
Can't
and we
do
never
that.
saw her again.
Yeah. Or maybe it was one about totalitarian. But yeah, we never saw her again.
Wow. Well, hi, Gabby.
Hi, Gabby. That's too bad.
I'm Madison. And my mother also died September 3rd, 2016. I would describe it more as like ants kind of making a colony out of her body, but the ants are just pure cancer. And they kind of like they made a
tar.
home in her lung. They made a home in her
sandcastle.
liver. Yeah. So yeah.
That's like
Wow.
That's nice. Like a great tree that has fallen in the woods, and all of the
Yeah.
all of the
It's like a
Bambi
picnic.
animals come nibble. Anyway,
Yeah,
hi Maddie.
yeah.
Hi Maddie. Yeah.
Hi,
Thank you. Yeah, it's a gift that keeps on giving, truly.
My name is
Who?
Son. My name is Harry. And my dad died on January 5th, 2017, which is a little over 5 years after the Mayan calendar stopped. So I'm just going to leave that there
Wee-oo.
to see if he
I
got
don't know.
apocalypse lumps all over. All over.
Conspiracy, grief
2012
babies, do your
just-
worst.
He
It
pi-
hit him later.
Yeah, he picked the wrong book, and a whole temple of pain fell on his little anthill.
Wow.
Hell yeah. Hi,
Wow.
Harry.
Hi.
We're
Sorry.
a fucking
Yeah.
sad bunch, aren't we? Hi, Harry.
Mhm.
All right. Well,
What are we going to talk about
what are we
today?
What
talking
are
about?
we talking
Today we're
about?
talking about microaggressions,
Micro-grievances. Ooh.
and yeah, just little things that tear you apart slowly.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's really fun.
Things that people say or do, things that society says and does.
Society's lies, man. Society's lies are abound.
These eyes realize.
Real aggressions tearing into me.
Realize there's some things you shouldn't say to me ever.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
like
exactly.
hello.
Or
That's the biggest
or I'll
one.
combust.
Yeah,
I'll
sometimes
go.
a simple hello.
Yeah. So,
Let's
does
see.
anyone have any right off the bat? Any bangers? Anything you really hate when people
yeah.
say to you? Yeah. Go.
I mean, Harry, if you want to start, I'll be on deck.
You have them locked.
I'll
and
be on
loaded,
okay, got locked and loaded. Let's see. Well, I guess my first one was there's some people who are a little bit competitive. Is what I've learned.
Oh my God,
I was talking to my dad's friend, and he my dad had died, right? This is a big theme for me.
Yeah.
And so he's like, "Oh my God, he didn't know." Like, he's like, "Oh, so your dad died. Like, how old was he?" And I was like, "He was 57, and that's exactly as long as he wanted to live." No,
Yeah.
he's 57. The guy
The
was like,
projected
"Oh,"
year,
he was like, "Oh my God, wow, I'm 58," and I was like, "Well, Good job. Like, I don't know. Are you doing push-ups? You doing Pilates or something?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Who's
better.
giving you that big gold star? Where is that? Is that God? Is he granting you that?
I know. It was like my house got hit by a tornado, and he was like, "Oh, all of my houses are tornado-proof." I just don't really care about tornadoes. Can you believe it? My tornado-proof house? Wow, amazing. It blows my
Wow.
mind how much tornadoes have
Wow.
not affected my life and
Yeah.
ruined my sense of stability. And I'm 58.
Totally. Yeah. By the way.
Did I
And I'm
mention?
58, by the way.
People
don't
are
know.
competitive. Yeah, it's funny that it's. I'll compete. Shit.
Okay,
Yeah,
compete away.
I'll compete. No, I mean sometimes you just don't have energy. It's like, yeah, you win. You win 58. You win.
Yeah,
Fine,
you win.
Yeah. You lucky bastard.
You hit the lottery, the big 5-8.
Mhm. Yeah, that reminds me of like, this isn't what I was going to say, but an older person in my life, like their mom had died when they were in their like 40s or something, and she was like, oh, all the things that my mom's gonna miss out on, like all the things she's not gonna see. And I was like, well, if this were a competition, I would beat you, because guess what, I was 21 when my mom kicked the can, and she didn't even see my college graduation. Like,
she hasn't seen a lot.
Yeah,
for a
mom's
long
gonna
time.
miss menopause and my pension. I know. it's rough.
Yeah.
well, actually, Harry, chemotherapy sent her mother into menopause early in life.
early menopause. So
Oh, okay.
Perks
She was-
of chemo.
yeah,
Perks of chemo.
So she pretty much lived a full life. Like, even though she died
Yeah.
at 49, she was still, drying up. So
Well, I was
she-
talking about the great joy of your mom witnessing your menopause, which I've heard.
Oh.
Which in
yeah,
case
yeah, she won't see that.
it's a Minnesota thing, and in case someone listening doesn't get it, total Minnesota thing. Menopause together. It's
Yeah,
like-
yeah,
It's
yeah.
on our flag under the stars.
We're immortal.
Yeah, big Minnesota thing.
Yeah, we
Minnesota
are
nice.
immortal.
Minnesota nice. Honestly, Minnesota nice kind of has to do with what I want to talk about, and this is what I would say is like a defense mechanism that people have. Like, as we've discussed, death is like deeply uncomfortable for people to talk about or even think about, and like when something's uncomfortable for a human, I think oftentimes we like choose to seek out whatever
Fight or flight, baby.
fight or flight defense mechanisms, whatever. So this is a defense mechanism I don't fuck with. I have my own, as I've discussed. I like to fucking isolate. I like to
Isotope.
just
Isopropyl,
I kind of
baby.
pull a mommy and I just go ghost on everybody. Only difference is I return. And I have a lot of
yeah,
correspondence to catch up on afterwards.
every Sunday.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't like this defense mechanism. It's like the type of person that like believes ignorance is bliss. Like blue pill, red pill, they would take the blue pill.
Ugh.
For anyone
blue
that
pill
doesn't know,
bitch.
that means that you decide to just stay inside the simulation.
If you
without-
don't know what blue pill and red pill are,
Yeah.
you're a blue pill bitch.
You're-
And I'm
yeah,
really
exactly.
sorry to
Yeah,
say that.
That's true. And if you're red pill, you're Keanu Reeves.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
there's 3 Neos in this room right now, just hardcore chopping up and snorting red pills by the
Yeah,
bushel.
yeah.
By the bushel.
my
Go on,
God.
Maddie. Go on.
I'm doing splits kicks in the air.
Yeah,
Okay, so
right.
anyways, that's this type of person, and it's the defense mechanism is like toxic positivity, like toxic optimism.
Love
Fucking can't stand it. I can't stand it. It's so annoying to me. But the first time, like this was the first micro-grievance that I experienced, and it was at my mom's funeral, and it was someone really close to me came with their parents, and I was like pretty close with their parents as well. And they just show up to the funeral with just fucking ear-to-ear grins. Like, they came right up to me and they're like, "Hi, Maddie. How are you?" Just, like, smiling ear-to-ear. And I was like, wait a sec, what? Like, no one else, like...
Is
there's
it a
kind of-
prank? Yeah.
there's funeral etiquette. Like, no one's like, "Hey, how are you?" Like, like, maybe you'll share a laugh after you, like, sorrowful, that you, like, share, like, a hug and, like, a tear. But they were just like, "Hi, how are you?" And I was like... Can you not smile right now? Like, this isn't right. Like, I'm not happy. But then I ended up smiling. Like, it was like they were smile zombies and they infected me. Like, suddenly I was like, I'm great.
no.
Actually, now that you mention it, like,
Never been better. Yeah.
never been better. And it's just like that type of attitude that's like, oh, just turn that frown upside down. It's like, can you just let me feel my feels? Like,
I'm
it's
gonna
not like
frown all over.
it's not like I'm gonna be sad the rest of my fucking life. Just give me 10 minutes. Just give me the funeral to be sad. Like, why
No.
are you coming up to me smiling? It just feels really like reality denying, you know?
You
and it's like,
negative
don't,
bitch. You're not smiling at your mom's funeral.
like, this isn't, again, grad party from hell. You just, you gotta.
Yeah.
I don't know. So that's mine. It's like toxic positivity. Like, you don't always need to be positive. I'm not saying ruminate in like the negative emotions, but Jesus, like, you can feel them. It's okay. It's okay to be fucking sad and pissed off or whatever, especially at the funeral.
Yeah.
So anyways, I hate that fucking coping mechanism. Not that mine's any better, but
Yours sucks.
but that one
true.
fucking blows.
I know. Yeah, I need a good 10 years. I'm almost halfway, a third of the way through mine, but 10 years before anyone's allowed to smile in my presence. I wear little
ever
shirts.
again. Yeah.
That'd be a good shirt idea. Don't smile. 57.
Yeah.
The 57 club is the 27 club you just didn't know about. It's a little bit more.
It's the better version.
It's very, very red pill.
Upper echelon, super red pill shit. Yeah. Sorry if this is over anyone's heads.
No, it shouldn't be.
What about you, Gabster? You got one in the brain dumpster, ready to fish it out, clean it off?
Honestly, I don't have specific instances. I feel like I've said some already, like obviously food at the funeral and things like that. But I feel like that's almost macro. Like it's so obvious, but clearly it's not to people. But I think mine is like, it's just the general lack of originality when people like want to like console you or like say something nice
Euphemisms,
about
baby.
the death. It just pisses me off. And I know our lovely guest, Katie, she kind of talked about how every year on the anniversary, like they'll be like, oh, at least you got 8 years. Like, but I feel like it's different contextually. I hate when someone else says that to me that doesn't even like know my mom when they're like, at least you got 17 beautiful years. I'm like, shut the hell up. Or when it's like,
fuck that glass half full mentality.
Or when it's like you're making a life decision or something and then they're like, it's what she would have wanted for you, or like stupid shit like that, and I'm like, you didn't even know her, bro. What, like, that was a big theme for me because obviously I was a senior in high school, so it was kind of like going to college, like what are you gonna do next year? And I really didn't want to go to college, but I felt very forced to because everyone was saying, oh, like your mom would totally want you to do that and she'd be so proud of you. And I was like, okay, teacher that has never met my mom. Like I was like, of course you want me to go to college.
You're like, what's my mom's name?
Yeah.
Say her first name.
Pop quiz. But yeah, I was just like, okay, I mean, yeah, it's a great sob story for the college application. I'm like, my mom died.
Yeah. Wow, shoo-in.
But yeah, that shit just pisses me off because I'm just like, it's such like fake empathy. Like, I don't know. It just doesn't really make sense to me. And I experienced that so much with like my teachers specifically that year of high school because like when she initially died, like I kind of told all my teachers and stuff because I was like, yeah, I'm pretty much on one brain cell grief down over here, not going to do the homework. And teachers acted like they understood, but I could immediately tell like what teachers still had their parents. You know what I mean? Because they would be like, this one bitch, I literally hated this teacher. And I know, I'm sorry. It's aggressive. It's aggressive, but she was so like fake empathetic. She was new to the school too, so no one really trusted her. We were like, who are you? But
okay, just getting her sea legs.
Okay, so she was like probably in her like 30s. And so parents definitely still alive. And I had told her, because this happened right away, I was like, hey, my mom died, whatever, like I'm kind of behind on the projects and might be forever. And at first she was like, oh my God, I totally understand, take all the time you need, blah blah blah. But then like slowly, like she like completely forgot about all of that and then was just like get on my ass about like all this stuff, like I wasn't finishing things. And I was like, do you remember what I told you a couple days ago? I'm not doing the project because life is meaningless to me now and you're dying too. But it's just little shit like that where it's like, I don't know, people like switch up on you, like and they, like I've said before, they have the luxury of forgetting about the loss. So immediately in like 2 days they're like, oh, you're fine, right? Or like, yeah, just little fake empathetic shit. It pisses me off more than anything, honestly.
No, it's really funny when you see the transformation. Like, okay, so if like, okay, say you know a person and you're like, when our mom died, you know, someone experiences it and they're like, oh, whatever, like they forget about it and like act like it's no big deal kind of. And then their parent dies and it's like the biggest fucking deal in the world. You know what I mean? Kind of like they, like once they actually experience it, then it's like, oh, they take the red pill, but they make a fucking explosion out of it. And it's like, oh, okay. So you do get it. And in fact, you're handling it a little bit worse than I did. Am I right? Like, I don't know.
Let's compete.
But let's compete.
That goes back to the expectations,
but we're down.
Like, you really, it does go back to the expectations of, like, even people that haven't experienced that, like, expecting them to reach out, or, like, I feel like it kind of, when someone, like, really has that experience, then they probably, like, look back on, you know, maybe how they acted with you before, and they're like, oh, shit.
No, for sure. Perspective. I mean, it's so hard to understand if you've never been through it. God bless your souls.
Yeah. Your sweet,
God damn it, your blue pill souls.
God bless those little souls. Yeah, teachers, I don't know. Teachers are, I know we all have stories with teachers, but I don't know. It's like they're in this weird position where they're sort of like role model-y. Not really like my role model, but you know, they've seen the movies, Save the Neighborhood kind of thing. But for the most part, they have no like
souls,
no necessary social skills to being teachers. Like, when I was in college, I didn't do the Gabster. I did the I did not tell my professors until it was the end of the semester. And
11th hour.
Yeah, I had an oral midterm where I was just supposed to, for epistemology, I was learning about skepticism and simulations. I was swallowing red pills. Just up the nose, suppositories. You couldn't stop me. And so we had a half-hour oral exam where the professor would like make us one-on-one explain anything in the course. And I'd been like doing my homework and reading, and I was like writing papers, but my brain was just hot jelly, you know, like nothing was sticking. It was just a pain souffle, and Daddy left the burners on way too long. So I got to the midterm, and I just started. He just asked me a question, and I was like, and then it just all exploded out, and I was like, Dad's dead. Yeah, my dad died. And I was just like, Dad's dead. And he was like, whoa, which was a fair reaction. He was like scared because of the velocity it came out at, like a bullet train. Of just grief.
Wow.
But
the jello oozing out of you.
Yeah. And the great thing about this midterm is that he said we could retake it at any time for any reason. So that was great. And then we started talking, and he was like, I didn't know any of that. And I was like, yeah, I didn't like write it on any T-shirts yet. Foreshadowing.
Foreshadowing.
And then like his only word of comfort, he was like, you know, I had all 4 of my grandparents alive until last year, and my parents are alive. And this guy's like 48 with like a PhD and a family, and I'm like, that's great. That's awesome. It's like I said, like, I'm hungry and I need a sandwich, and he's like, you know what? I have 8 sandwiches a day. All the time, and they're just for me. They're just my little pastrami sandwiches. And then he said, and then I was like, so can I retake the midterm? Which we were supposed to be able to retake for any reason. And he said, I think that's the best you're going to do.
Oh, my God.
Which was, I didn't even finish it. I was like halfway through. I was like, you don't know me. You don't know me. I'm going to kill all your grandparents.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus.
What the fuck?
I know. That was a weird one.
Grandparents, I know.
After you've been through a parent death, it's like, okay, I don't want to say anything with regret. It's deeply sad when anyone dies, but, you know.
Well,
there are layers.
I don't know. It was like the thing where I think it's sort of like the teacher you were talking about, where it's like, wow, I don't even understand what's going on. All right, hard iron fist of justice and, you know, objective expectations and literally no allowances, even though I'm acknowledging that I've never been through the experience you've been through.
I know.
Right. It's like it isn't a black and white situation. It's not like it's written in the syllabus. Like in case of parental death, like, you know, it's like, can you just be a human? Just be a human. Have some empathy. Like, Jesus, teachers need empathy training along with every other person in any profession. But
they do.
That is so wild of him to have done that.
I had another professor who just like, he also didn't give me. So I didn't get any allowances for that semester at the end. I think I already talked about the going to disability services and talking to someone who like listened to me for half an hour and then was like, "Nah, you need to file this at the beginning of the semester." I was like, "What?
Oh.
I just got diagnosed with extreme dad death. Like, why did I have to schedule that?" Another professor told me not to mope. That was
not to mope.
Yeah, he also didn't give me any allowances. He was like 80, so his parents were dead, and he's just like, "You got to find something to do this summer, not to mope." And I was like, "Well, I'm just gonna get addicted to pills." So, foreshadowing.
Not to mope. Which one, red or blue? No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, I know.
That's ridiculous. First of all,
that's such an old person.
Yeah,
thing
that's what I was gonna say. Such an
mope, Sonny.
Yeah, like suppress it. That's what we did in my day, bitch.
He's like, I put that in a box deep in my brain. Okay.
I'm part of a long tradition of men not helping other men. I'm like, great, thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks, Robert. That's really good for me.
Totally.
You're like, don't mope.
I will say, like, actually, some of my teachers were nicer about it than others. Like, I could tell who was a red pill. Like I was like, this one teacher, his class, it was the first class of the day, and I would literally come like an hour late. Like the classes were like an hour and a half, and I would come like an hour late, like, "What's up?" and like sneak in, and eventually then I told him what happened, and he felt really bad, and I just like handed him the slip of paper where you're like, the teacher needs to sign, so you drop the class. I would just like, "Hey, so can I just get your John Hancock on there?" And he was like, "I totally understand," because it was like a harder class, like an advanced one. And I don't know why I was doing that. I like never took those. It was environmental science.
Oh yeah.
I think you know the teacher, I think. But he actually just like started crying. A common theme, and he was just like, "I'm so sorry." He's like, I think like one of his parents had died when he was younger too, and he was like, "I totally understand, like this is the best decision for sure." Like signed the paper. I was like, "Hell yeah." But like then another teacher, he just like didn't even say anything. Like he knew what happened, didn't acknowledge it. Again with the pity eyes, the silent pity eyes, which are the worst. I'm like, it's like a double-edged sword, because I'm like, okay, I know if you say something to me, it's gonna probably be a micro-grievance and I'm gonna hate it. But also you not saying anything pisses me off too. Like it's like, I don't know which is like, we just need more like better words to say. Like I feel like people just recycle the same stupid things that don't comfort you at all. And it's just like, okay, like you're sorry for my loss and you can't even imagine, and you're thinking of my family.
I can't even imagine, and I won't try.
I refuse to.
Thinking of you and your family. I'm like, the rest of my family, I don't talk to them. So.
I don't think of them. So
I know. I love all the euphemisms. It is weird. Like it just seems like they've been passed down since like the time of Christ. Up to Mary. It's like, oh, Jesus, he's in a better place now.
Yeah, he's in a better place.
I hate when people say that. Like my dad, like they're like, oh, at least he's in a better place and he doesn't have the cancer. I know exactly where he is. He's disintegrated in my room as a furniture piece. He's got a little party hat on him. That's where he is.
Yeah. He had a birthday recently. Did you put a little party hat on him?
I did put a little party hat on him. I tried to get my dog leash around him so we could take him for a walk, but Daddy's got a thick neck. A thick
neck. Yeah.
Daddy's got a thick earned neck.
You should get him a spiked collar.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of these grievances that we're talking about could be avoided, like just with more communication. I feel like it goes back to the huge stigma around death. Like, I don't know. Like, I just feel like a lot of teachers maybe should just be like, "Hey, how can I support you? Let me know how I can support you." Like, you don't have to just dole out A+s, but just be like, "Yo, how can I support you?" But like also get
give
your
me
work
an A+.
done.
Yeah. No, I know it definitely is. Yeah, it's like communication, and I think it would be like more productive because obviously, like, I mean, I'm pretty comfortable talking about the death, like, and I don't think everyone is, but like, I think in those scenarios, like at school or whatever, with like, you know, adult figures, mentors, whatever, like it would just be nice if they kind of created a safe space for like someone to talk about their experience if they wanted to, or just like be more like open to listening. And like rather than just, because I feel like what's the problem with those little phrases is that it kind of just closes the conversation. It's like, oh, well, it's what she would want for you. She's in a better place. All right, I did my work, right? Like, it's kind of,
Thank God she's dead. She'd be in a worse place, which is here on the earth with me.
It's almost like you can compare it to like kind of the weird like performative allyship we're seeing now with like the movement going on. Like, it's kind of like that, where it's just like, okay, these are kind of hollow statements, and it's not like your actions are not following up with the stupid little one-liner you just said. Like, I don't know. I feel like it's just not productive. Like, I'm not even sure what would be better, but it's just, it seems just like it shuts it down, and then they're like, all right, did my work. All right, perfect. Said I was sorry and that her mom is proud of her. Pat on my back.
But I do think it's better to say something than not say something. Like, I think if you're questioning, like, oh gosh, should I say this to this person? Like, yeah, say it. Nothing you say is going to like shock the person that went through the death. Like, we've said before, like, we haven't forgotten that our mom is dead. Like, we never forget. So like you bringing it up isn't going to like, whoa, trigger like a big reaction. Like, we live with, it's omnipresent. But also I think this one kind of, this doesn't really upset me, but this pisses some people off, I know, when people will reach out and say, like, let me know if you need anything. And then that's it. Like, you know, because oftentimes, what is the grief baby going to be like? Well, now that you mention it, actually, I need this, this, and that. Thanks for offering. See you soon. Like, a lot of times
Oreos, stat.
A lot of times you should just do it. You know what I mean? Like, just show up to their place and be like, yo, I dropped some shit off at the door. Like, you don't even need to like, you know, be in contact with them. Just say, hey, drop some shit off, or, you know, whatever.
Also, I don't know. That's let me know if you need anything. It's like, okay, my friend of my friend's cousin or whatever. It's like, instead of asking like, what do you need, like, let me know by generating a list of things that I'm obviously not gonna commit to completing.
Totally.
I feel like there could also just be more like checking in, kind of like with like teachers or people, whatever, just like, hey, how are you feeling today? Like, because every day is so different. So it's just like, you know, what's going on this week? Like, are you feeling okay? Because you know, it's like so up and down, like, especially right away. Like, you know, some days you're like, wow, I actually feel surprisingly okay because I'm so fucking numb and it rocks. And then other days you're just like, I cannot get through this week to save my life. Like, this is impossible.
Totally.
So I feel like if there was just more, like communication and just like a willingness to like check back in and know that it doesn't go away, rather than just, like being like, oh, my work here is done.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah. It's easier for a grief baby to say just because we do know. So like it would be hard for like an ally to, I don't know, keep remembering, but it's hard to live with a dead parent. So
one of the things, I don't know if y'all have had this experience, but there's also like another side to the coin of people who like really want to know about your trauma, but just because it's like exciting or like intimate or something, or and then I've had this happen with a few people where like they've asked about my dad and stuff, and I'll be like, okay, because I'm also ready to just yap about dad's horrific 10-year trail to death.
Constantly locked and loaded,
and then they get like, I don't know, it's like they get aroused, you know? Like they're necrophiles. Because I've had people and I talk about my dad, and then they like get weird and they try to kiss me. That's happened like twice, and it's like,
okay, whoa,
it's like, that's really, I don't know. It's like, just because you're asking about this thing, that's, I don't know. Because in a way, it's
try
personal.
And get you in like a vulnerable state, so then.
So then they can
like
just
grease you up. What the fuck?
I actually kind of had something similar happen.
Totally looped me up.
I've never had that.
I have.
Yeah, I know.
I have had something similar happen. But it wasn't like a full on, like they like it wasn't like trying to like go for it completely, but basically, okay, so this was like earlier, like this year in the fall or something, and I was hanging out with this guy, and I guess like he thought it was a date and I didn't really. So I guess that's like step one of like miscommunication. But
yeah, I should have asked.
Basically, I dropped a banger about my dead mom, and I thought he already knew my mom was dead. So I was just like, yeah, I don't even remember what I said, but I just like dropped a banger. Then I could tell like immediately, I was like, oh God, he did not know, because like there was that look of like shock. And he like, we were walking and he like stopped and he's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And I was like, oh yeah, it's fine. I was like, I thought I already banged you. I thought you knew. So it's kind of awkward. And then he was just like, can I give you a hug? And I was like, okay, sure. Like that, honestly, like that doesn't really, that's not going to comfort me. Like also I didn't need comforting. I was like, I'm so far out, baby. I just bang him out.
Yeah,
but
he needed comforting. You were banging him.
Literally, that's the thing. It's like it was almost like he needed comfort because what I said was so traumatic for him. I don't know.
Also, I feel like if they knew you at all, they would know you don't really like physical touch.
No, physical
it's not
touch,
really your love language.
Not my love language. It doesn't really comfort me. And then he kissed the top of my head.
Oh, shit.
I'm bald
okay,
also.
I remember this.
I'm bald. And it just felt very like fatherly. Like I was like, oh my God, that was so weird.
Yeah.
My bald baby head. I was just like, really? And also like, then I was like, oh God, does he think this is a date? And then I was just like, this is super fucking weird at every angle. And yeah, then just had to like keep walking. I was like, all right, well, do you feel better now? Because I don't.
I think this is all like people just, even though people say things like, you know, let me know what you need and stuff. I think like all of these are connected to people just not actually wanting to be present with you. You know, like someone like the things I was talking about, like, okay, so you're asking me about it, but then it gets to a point where I'm telling you and you get so uncomfortable, you're like, you know what? Maybe we should just S each other's D's instead of actually like being in this moment. You know, that'll make him feel better. God,
what could possibly top this moment? Yeah.
I had a therapist who cried when I told him my dad died. His eyes got all misty and he looked like he'd just been pepper sprayed topical. And
wait, who did?
One of my therapists, like that I had at college, and I was like, I don't want to make you cry. You're supposed to help me. Like this isn't hopeful.
No, that puts you in a position of like, now I have to comfort you.
Pepper spray eyes.
It's
like
funny.
He went to the doctor and he gets scared. He's like, oh my God, you look like that? Yeah.
Comforting. Okay, yeah, that reminds me of like people kind of getting off or like I don't getting like a sick, weird like satisfaction from finding out about the death. This is like social media kind of specific, but I've seen it happen multiple times when someone will be like, hey, you know, mom died, whatever. You post the status letting everyone know if like the funeral's coming up. And people sometimes have the fucking audacity to comment, hey, how'd it happen? Like, I've seen that multiple times. Hey, how'd it happen? What happened? What? Don't say that. Never, ever say that. Don't say that. Don't type it. Don't, like, to the person. There's
a context in which you could maybe ask that if the person, like, wants to talk about it and you're, like, face-to-face. Like, I think maybe that's more appropriate. But, yeah, like, on Facebook, like, yo, totally pulling up to the funeral. Yeah. But, like, how'd it happen?
Yeah, it's
open
it's
casket
so
or not, bro? You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Crib, OC.
Was it like Full Metal Jacket? You know what I mean?
You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Yeah, open, not.
I know people are little perverts. You know, I love them, but people are little like trauma perverts, and they want to get
totally
their jimmies, their jimmies off your shattered home life.
Yeah,
which is
I've
fair.
never had anyone feed into my story. In fact, I feel like I'm usually the one that's like, let me tell you about my dead mom and all the dirty, gory Geico details.
I know. I'm like, hey, nice to meet you. Do you want to know
Geico,
how my mom turned into a lizard and then disintegrated? They're like, oh. I'm like, yeah, it was really sad.
It was a really confusing Star Trek episode. No real point. Nihilism. Yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty much all of the episodes we've recorded, just all condensed into like 20 minutes. I'm like, blah, 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 blah,
I have
blah.
a monologue. I'm like, hey, what's up? I've perfected it. It's like a stand-up set. I'm just like, yep, gonna hit him with this banger from the left.
And then everyone's going to come on the stage and try to S my D, just 100 people, just to be present with me.
Yeah,
Sorry
yeah,
for
that's
your
how
loss.
I get laid.
Sorry for your loss.
Literally, the
amount of story.
The amount of times we've like tag teamed the story onto one person. I remember we did that with my ex. Like we didn't give him a chance. We were just like, let us tell you about it, blah blah blah. We were like smoking mad spliffs.
We were like coordinated. We're like, yeah, and then she turned yellow, and then we were at her ex-boyfriend, and then
It's truly a dance, and I think we've gotten it down. We have gotten it down.
We're professional
it's the tango mommy. The tango mommy.
It sounds more like some tag team WWE, just like full barrel SmackDown kind of.
SmackDown. I get my elbow in there.
Yeah.
And just red pill him down.
Wow.
Whoa. That was one of her best. That was one of her best.
Questions, answers.
What do you guys think? Should we move on to questions?
Questions.
Q-Town?
Q-Town. Cue it up. Quebec.
We have a few.
Sponsored by the city of Quebec Tourism
I know
Board.
we could keep just yakking for hours, but
let's keep yakking over questions.
Let's
over
yak
questions.
up some cues.
Okay. Yeah.
Yum.
Okay. Question 1. How do you respond to pity? Pity.
I S their D. No.
Easy.
Pity.
I think I'm a total deflector.
Yeah.
Like I'm just like, no, I'm the fucking bodybuilder Hulk. I'm so strong. It didn't even touch me.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Totally. Yeah, no, me too.
Or I'm just like,
I'll like
it's
laugh
okay.
it off. I'm like, ha ha ha, it's fine. No, we find a lot of joy in it now.
I think that's another example of where you almost have to like comfort the other person more, or like you feel like, because you're just like, no, it's okay. Trust me, it's fine. I'm fine.
Yeah.
And then it's just like,
you
wait,
take
what?
on their
like,
emotional
yeah.
baggage. You're like, oh
like,
no,
what?
they feel bad, and I feel bad that they
Yeah,
feel
yeah,
bad.
'cause
So
they're,
let
like,
me make them feel
worried
better
about
so I
you.
don't feel bad.
Yeah.
And they don't feel bad.
You don't want them to be like
Bad.
worried about you, and then you're
Bad.
just like, wait, what?
Bad.
You should be worried about me.
Yeah.
Because I am
Because I'm on the edge, baby.
Neo.
I think it
Yeah.
depends on the situation. Like if it's just like some rando person like being, pitiful, it's like, okay, whatever, do your thing. But if it's someone close to you and it like repeatedly happens, like I think you should have a conversation with them like, yo, this is not helpful for me. Like, can you cut the pity? Because it's like not helping me heal or anything.
Yeah.
Harry, thoughts?
Pity. I don't know. Well, it's hard for me to think of an example of actual pity because
You didn't get a lot of pity.
Usually
Don't
I
mope.
think of like the people who sort of act like they're pitying me, but
Yeah.
they don't. It's not like they're even like giving me any breadcrumbs or anything. They're
No.
like, "Oh, that sucks so much," but also I'm suing you, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God, wait, this is actually triggering a memory for me. I remember,
wow.
oh God, after
Trigger
mom
time.
died, so
Trigger
I was a
time.
senior in college and I like lived alone, but I had like a group of girlies that were my friends and they had like an apartment together. It was about a month or two after mom died and they were having a mom's weekend. And they invited me. I was like, what the fuck? Like that was a weird moment of
Wait,
like,
what does that mean? A mom's weekend?
Their
I literally
moms-
don't even get it.
there was like it was like 4 girls and all their moms.
Were they executing their moms? Because I can see.
No,
how
like
you'd
they were
wanna-
just having a mom extravaganza.
Wait, they invited you so you could be.
I don't know.
Little
See, I think it
Timmy
was
looking
one of
at the
those
moms.
things where
Join our
like
mom
there
of
was
the month club.
Yeah, it was like a weird thing where like they felt pity kind of and they wanted to invite me, but it's like that is not
Get a little taste of the mom life.
Yeah, I think it was
Yeah.
kind of like, do you want to come with? No, I don't.
Yeah.
I don't.
It's
I don't
like-
want to.
It's like, do you want to smell this food?
You
No,
hungry
don't
bitch.
taste. Don't taste. Yeah.
I think the problem with pity, at least to me, is like it seems like a low vibrational emotion.
Yeah.
Like it's not like genuine. I think the like higher end of that to me is like validation and like actual like compassion.
Yeah.
Cause like pity is just like it doesn't do anything for anyone.
No, yeah.
It's like
I
I'm not like, especially, I guess it's maybe different depending on like how far out you are. Like I feel like right away maybe it's more comforting to have people being like, wow, I'm so fucking sorry, I can't imagine, that's so hard, like whatever. But like I feel like there's a fine line between it being genuine and like just kind of fucking annoying. And I think like as you know, the further out I get, it's like I don't need pity. Like if anything, I just need my like I do enjoy people validating the fact that the experience was hard. Like I think that's helpful because sometimes I can forget like how hard it was.
Yeah.
So when people are like, damn, like
you've been
I'm
through the
really
ringer.
sorry. Yeah. Like that is like validation and like compassion and genuine to me. But yeah, when it's just like, like I don't know. It's
There's a
just
fine
weird.
line between like pity and sympathy, and like even sympathy. Sometimes I'm like, I don't really need your sympathy. Like I would love just like some empathy or like validation, support. Like I don't know.
Yeah, I think. I think pity is one of those like sort of positional like emotions. Like it's condescending.
Yeah.
Like in a way, where because it's not like leveling or like validation or like sympathy on the same level.
Totally.
It's like it's one of these things that I think people do as their own defense mechanism to sort of because a lot of people like sort of need to explain to themselves, I think, why something bad happened to someone else but it didn't happen to them.
Yeah.
And pity is where I guess I would get that from some people. This is the thing that drove me the most crazy is people would say like, you know, wow, that really wasn't fair, or that shouldn't have happened. With like the sort of pitying, and that shit pisses me off more than anything because it's just like, I don't know, because it's this idea that my dad's death is like an anomaly or like something went wrong or like my world is broken, and I'm like, nah, dude, we're just living on a fucking organic meatball that's just eating us slowly, like it's tumors upon tumors, and you're no different than me. That's the thing. It's like you're no different. Anyone could explode at any moment.
Exactly.
So
it almost separates.
It's not like cosmic justice was broken.
No.
Fuck that. No, it's not unfair. It's just like the problem of evil. It exists.
It's just literally
Daddy's
reality.
Job.
Yeah.
Life
That
and
actually is a good point because I feel like then it kind of sometimes those comments can create a separation where it's like that person's almost like thinks they're like invincible to it.
Like
they're
pedestal
like, wow,
vibes.
it happened to
Vibes.
you. And I'm sorry, but I'm so glad it wasn't me.
Yeah, like get off your high horse. It could happen to anyone at any time. Yeah.
We should be treated like prophets of the future instead of paupers. Like just, you know, one like milky eyes and big ragged robes saying it'll happen to you.
Totally.
Would you like a red pill?
Full of chili powder.
Answered?
Answered. 100%.
Yeah.
That was good. I sorry for that TED talk in the middle there, guys. I didn't mean to.
No, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, that was great. We knocked that one out of the park.
Don't
okay,
pity.
question 2. What is your advice for allies, as in things to avoid saying or doing? If we haven't just absolutely eviscerated every single person that has ever said
every
any
ally has
word to
clicked
us.
out already.
Well, here's a cancer-specific one. It's like don't talk about my dad losing some fight, you know.
Oh,
because
fight.
people only do that with like cancer or like some other diseases, but it's never like if my dad no one's ever like reads an obituary where it's like, you know, Ted Williams after a brave fight with the, you know, New York City bus system got smashed got smashed by the light rail, you know? It's like that's
totally.
not a fight, so why is my dad losing a fight to bone-crushing cancer? You know?
Right,
and he wasn't being brave, he's just a normal. It's another thing where it's like you're valorizing this person who just got shafted by Jesus, you know?
Totally.
Yeah.
It's
And
not
if
it's not a fight. He's not a hero. He's not joining a battle. He just has to have cancer.
Yeah, and if it was a fight, it'd be the most just uneven playing field. Like, cancer is a sharpshooter. She doesn't lose often, okay? I'm sorry, but...
And it's
Guerrilla
coming for all of us.
tactics. Expert guerrilla tactics. We're in the swamps.
God,
poison
guerrilla warfare,
darts,
totally.
etc.
Yeah. She is,
Yeah.
She's a chameleon, truly. Cancer chameleon.
Mm.
Yeah. I don't know. Let me think. Avoid. What should you avoid?
I mean, we kind of already discussed it, but like the hollow comments for me, that's like the main thing. It's just like, don't like, it's the cookie cutter, stupid grief. Like, I think a lot of like, as we've talked about with the stages, even like so much grief language is outdated in my opinion. Like, And I don't know. I think it needs, like, we need to adapt with the times.
Mm-hmm.
We now know healing's not linear. We know grief is really complex.
Yeah.
And hopefully we're learning to be more compassionate humans in our communication. So I think the grief language, even though obviously since we're so young, our peers are younger and they just genuinely don't know how to talk about that kind of stuff. But as we said,
they're only 57.
Yeah, they're only 57. Even teachers, like, and older people, like, it's like we need to really just adapt the language and create more of like an environment where I think, you know, the grief baby can feel safe talking about it if they want to, or feel like they're actually being listened to, and not just the ally giving themselves a pat on the back for like saying I'm sorry or like something. I don't know.
Yeah. No, more compassion. To that point, I think it's like, I would say if there's one bit of advice I would give you, just don't like decenter yourself. Like, it's not about you. And like, it's really hard to empathize because, you know, you could say like, oh, what would I want in this situation? Like, how can you answer that question if you haven't experienced it? You know, it's really hard to just, you know, think about the other person. And if you don't know how to support them, like, literally Google it, fucking look it up. Like, how can I support someone that's gone through loss? Like, there's not a lot of stuff out there that's like super up to date, but like Gabby said, a lot of, you know, content on this stuff is like super outdated, but I don't know, just figure it out, you know, and just don't think about yourself. Try as hard as you can to just like put yourself in the other person's shoes and be like, what you know, what would I really, what would really be the most helpful?
Well, when I'm talking to other people about stuff that's fucked up, I try to stop myself from saying something I would have heard on TV. You know what I mean? It's like all these like euphemisms that are the same, where it's just like, no, it's not a character. It's like a unique person who doesn't want to go in the little box. And then I just I don't know, because then you're just like, you know, equalizing all these people in this group into this statement instead of asking questions, saying like, what do you need? What is it like? How many red pills do you have to share? Can we just do the splits all over them?
Because I'm really in the market.
Yeah, I'm trying to rail truth. Joe Rogan. Get
Joe
on
Rogan.
here,
Joe Rogan.
Completion.
Anyway, DMT.
Spirit molecule.
Answered.
You are a little Joe Rogan, always coming back to DMT.
Dude,
and Bill
and
Gates.
I'm so bald. Like, but I'm choosing to be Joe.
The Joe Rogan experience. I can just like picture the middle, the fucking third eye on you.
Today we got Macaulay Culkin on the pod. We're gonna talk about acid. I've honestly never listened to his podcast like all the way through, but sorry, Joe. Anyway,
that was it. He paid for that spot. He paid for that ad spot just now.
Yeah,
Next question.
Big doofus energy. Okay.
Sponsored by Joe.
JRE, bro.
Thanks, Rogues. Shout out, Rogues. Okay, this is question 3. Our final question.
Ooh, countdown.
The $1 million question. Okay, is there something that people think is a micro-grievance but isn't? Oh, shit. Okay, yeah, we kind of discussed this, I think, off the pod. But it's when
here's a slam dunk.
It's when someone will find out that, you know, you've broken the big news that there has been a death in the family.
Boom.
Yeah,
Boom.
you say, actually,
Banger.
they say, oh, what does your mom do? And you say, well, she's
Not
dead.
much.
Not much.
Well, she used to hang out on Earth, but now she kind of just...
She's retired and she lost some weight.
She's
say
retired
that.
forever.
I say she lives in the Florida Keys.
The great gig in the sky.
Mm-hmm.
So you say, well, she's dead. And then they immediately go, oh, I'm so sorry. That's that TikTok effect. Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh my God, I'm so, whoa. And they act like super uncomfortable and like frightened for their lives. And then it's just that whole fucking power dynamic again of like, oh, it's okay. Then you have to like rub their back and say, nah, it's all good. Rub their tummy and pat their head. But I think that's one where they're like, they think that, you know, asking the innocent question like you don't know, you don't know before you fucking know. So it's okay that you ask the question. Again, we're never going to forget that the person's dead. So it's totally chill. Don't worry about it. Don't
Wait, guys, what is this podcast about?
Wait.
My dad. Yeah, no, I remember. Yeah, I think, I don't know. I don't know if that's a problem, but also just the never mentioning it. Because I had friends in college, like my first semester of college after my dad died, like none of my friends mentioned it, and none of my roommates did. Like, none of my roommates did the whole semester. And I was just so, like, taken aback by that because, you know, no one had asked me ever, like, when my dad was sick, how he was doing and stuff, and it was in my little boy shell, just all crusted up, waiting for someone to chisel their way into my heart.
Yeah.
And I have friends from college who never said anything, and they're not really friends anymore. And I don't know. I think at least like the stupid adults or whatever, like they just say something dumb so that you at least know that they know.
Right.
But yeah, that's the crazy thing. And whenever I've talked to those people later, they're like, "Well, you know, I didn't want you to like think about it." And I was like, "Really?
Yep,
I look like a ghost. I've lost so much weight. I'm, you know, crying into my red pill, red cup. You know."
But yeah, red solo pill.
That is the thing. It's not mean to ask. It's actually very tender, and who knows, maybe we'll ask each other's D's at the end of this.
Yeah. No, that's actually
I
a
feel
great
like that's
point.
a common theme. Like people just are scared to bring it up because like they're scared that
really
they're
scared.
gonna like, you know, make you feel an emotion that you've never felt before. And it's like, honey, I have already experienced all of them.
Yeah.
All of them, you name it, pick an emotion out of a hat, I've experienced it.
All my chakras are clogged. Yeah.
That actually brings me, I know this is kind of like contradicting something you said where it's like it's annoying when people like ask what happened, but I think like contextually, like if you're, because I've noticed this with like,
no, that's like a random Facebook thing.
Yeah. I've noticed this with people like maybe like friends I've met, like newer friends since the death happened, and like obviously I'll fucking just drop a big old banger to let them know what's happening. And so like everyone I meet pretty much knows my mom has died because I don't let them get away. Like I'm just like, no, I'm gonna capitalize, price gouge, and fucking make you really uncomfortable by landing a sick joke. But then it's like, it's always interesting to me when I'm like, when you're getting to know someone, they know your mom's dead, and then they like continue to not ask anything or like not talk about it. Like it's interesting to me because I'm like, don't you kind of want to know what happened? Like if we're like becoming friends,
it's my sexiest story, obviously.
It's my sexiest story, and Maddie and I can do it like in choreography form. But it's just like you don't want to see our
like
performance.
The Undertaker.
But
I totally agree with that.
It's annoying because it's like, okay, if you really want to like get to know me, this is like a huge part of my life. And I guess you can just listen to this fucking podcast, but like, you know, it's just like, it's weird to me because I'm like, either you just don't care or it is that taboo thing where it's like, oh my God, if I mention this, she's gonna explode.
But that's another thing where it's like decenter yourself because like, okay, you're thinking about it from your perspective, like, oh God, I don't want to make this person uncomfortable. Like think about how we're feeling. Like we want to tell you, but like, how do we go about being like, so let me tell you about how my mom died. Like if we're going to get to know each other, I feel like I need to tell you this. Like we don't want to do that either.
That's what I'm saying about the safe space. Like the person needs to create that space where it's like, I feel like I can talk about this and it's not like random or weird or like uncomfortable or just me being like, oh, I really need to unload this sad hospice story on you, please. Like, so I like when people are curious because it shows me that like, oh, you actually do want to get to know me, and like this is a huge part of my life and it's intense. And like if you're also, you know, a younger person, like I would be curious if I had both of my parents, like, and a close friend of mine or someone I'm getting to know, like had that experience, I would want to know. I'd be like, damn, like that's fucking intense.
Let's
like
doomsday prep.
Let's SDs.
And there's always a sensitive way to say it.
Joe Rogan,
Yes.
Joe Rogan.
Hey.
Is he DPC?
No, I was just talking to the other JR. Go on, Maddie, go on.
No, I really liked the two that you both shared. I totally agree with like people that don't, Harry, with what you said, like when people just act like nothing happened, it's kind of like you feel a little cuckoo bananas. Like, did everyone forget? Why is no one saying anything? I don't know. Both of yours resonated with me. Love that. Thank you for sharing.
I know. I feel like I have like a harpoon in my chest. And then people are like, ugh, I don't know. I feel like that harpoon in his chest might have a lot of baggage. So, so I know it's knocking over tableware and shattering things, and it's like in the dishwasher. But I just really feel like he doesn't want to.
You take it out and just red pills.
Yeah.
explode
Oh
from
my
your
God.
chest.
Just like Minecraft blocks of red pills.
blood cell
Red-
pills.
Oh, if only my dad had more red blood pill cells, he could have beaten.
Yeah.
He
That-
could have
no-
made it to the library with mom.
He could. I know he could have pulled the book. They could have got squished together.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
It would have been great.
All
Damn.
right.
Well, we sort of
Answered.
Wow.
fixed. We sort of fixed it.
We sort of fixed everything about the world
Yeah.
totalitarianly.
Totalitarianly. I feel like my grief journey is over, you guys. I think I'm done.
I'm chill.
Yeah.
I think I'm done.
Hell yeah, healed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go back to just saying things I heard on The Simpsons about
Yeah.
death and just not giving a fuck and being scared, and then S-ing D's if I need, if I don't want to carry up my part of the conversation. That's what it is.
Exactly.
It's like you're
Yeah,
not a
it's
good
just a filler.
conversationalist, so we got to SDs now.
Should we bang? Is that
Yeah.
is that where this goes?
We're
I'm feeling a
replacing
little
bangers
unsure
with
about
banging.
myself, so let's bang. Yeah.
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 Well,
Wow.
thanks for
I hope we brought a
listening.
little bit of clarity to all you allies out there.
Yeah,
Jesus.
yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for listening, though. Thank you so much.
thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thanks so much,
Please submit
allies.
a topic, question, or banger
Yeah. We need submissions.
on deadparentsclub.rip.
.rip. Yeah.
We might have some apparel coming soon.
Oh, yeah,
We might have
yeah.
a pre-order, so keep your eyes peeled.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to be a guest, please reach
Ooh.
out to us on the website as well. We want to hear all the bangers
Yep.
in the world.
We will
have a
pay
lot of
you.
red pills to go
We will
around.
pay you.
We
if
will
you
pay
turn
you with
57.
red. Yeah, when you turn 57, it'll
Yeah,
be
when
a
you
trust
beat my
fund.
dad, there's going to be a big cash prize.
Yeah,
A
yeah, big cash
one,
prize.
baby. Big trust fund.
All right. Well, I'm Gabby.
I'm Madison.
I'm around. I'm Harry. I've been around. I've been around. All my grandparents are alive.
So
Super.
sad. We're cool.
Silly.
We're
We're
Sevy
silly
Slams.
and we're red pilling down.
And we're teaching history in all the right ways.
Yep.
True.
Yep.
True.
Yep.
Okay.
In our libraries with the trapdoors.
Trapdoors.
Bye,
Mhm.
flavor baby.
Bye,
Bye,
little,
flavor
bye, little red
babies,
pill
Flavor
droplets.
Town.
Bye.
Watch
Joe
out for those
Rogan.
bookcases.
Joe Rogan loves you.
Bye.
Joe Rogan loves you.
Rogan, bye.
Joe Rogan loves you.
Bye.
We really need to work on making a more concise outro.